Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happiness Today TV. One of our finest from the Southwest. We're talking about Chief Akande. There's been a lot of controversies. A book launch that has been, that's produced canker worms. Controversies are coming up. Issues that were hitherto done with are being, resurrected all over again, and it's not fun, it's not funny, as Nigerians have also decided to react over a lot of things. In fact, it called out the president on what he did in the 80s. This is my god, quite expository. Before we go into the news proper, I would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a button you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Well, the former governor of Osun State and the interim national chairman of the All Progressive Congress (APC) Chief Bisi Akande has accused the General Muhammadu Buhari-led military regime of employing double standards in the treatment of political detainees after the December 31st, 1983 military coup. According to him, Southern and Christian political leaders got a raw deal compared to their Northern and Muslim counterparts during the regime's onslaught against politicians in 1984 in the guise of fighting craft. Writing in My Participations, his 557-page autobiography, which was launched last week, Chief Akande, who recalled his ordeals in various detention centers from Ibadan to Bonny Camp and Kirikiri Prison, said the maltreatment of detained Southern and Christian political leaders were palpable. For instance, of the 19 states of the country at the time, only the deputy governors of Oyo State were tried, and while Vice President Alex Ekweme was hauled into prison, President Shehu Shagari was detained at a comfortable federal government guest house in Ikoyi. His words: "The roll call at Bonny Camp was who? In the defunct Second Republic. There I met former governors Ige of Oyo, Adekunle Ajasin of Ondo, Bisi Onabanjo of Ogun, Ambrose Ali of Bendel, Lateef Jakande of Lagos, Adamu Atta of Kwara, Jim Nwobodo of Anambra, Sam Mbakwe of Imo, Melford Okilo of Rivers, and Clement Isong of Cross River." Also with us at Bonny Camp were S.M. Afolabi, my predecessor as deputy governor, who served briefly as President Shagari's Minister of Education, and Chief Ogedengbe, another former minister from Ondo State. I felt strangely discriminated against among them all because I did not meet any other deputy governor apart from Chief Afolabi. In 1984, there was 19 states in Nigeria, 10 from the north and 9 from the south. I ruminated and asked myself, why has Oyo State been singled out for maltreatment of deputy governors? I concluded that the ways of the military had no rhyme or reason. One day, former Vice President Alex Ekweme joined us in Kirikiri. He appeared visibly perplexed, shaken with emotion, and he wept bitterly as he was shoved into his cell on our floor. Unlike the Vice President, President Shagari was being detained in a luxurious federal government guest house in Ikoyi. There was a sudden pall of gloom everywhere. Many of us felt sad and agitated about the humiliation being meted out to the Vice President. Thereafter, pockets of corridor talks began among the inmates. The theme all over was that there were double standards in the arrest and humiliation of politicians from the South and the North. Between Christians and Muslims were the Southerners, and Christians suffering the worst treatment. Akande, who lamented how his incarceration affected his relations with his children and recognition of places as he kept missing directions to his house in Lagos and other places, said his wife Omowumi almost died in an accident upon hearing his conviction by the military tribunal on radio. On 16 October 1984, Chief Bola and I were found guilty on a two-count charge of conspiracy and unlawful enrichment of our political party, the UNPN, the UPN, by the Ibadan Special Military Tribunal. The tribunal sentenced each of us to 21 years imprisonment on each count to run concurrently. The immediate import of that judgment to me was that I was being jailed for 42 years, and that was the media headlines too. The scenario exactly resembled what I saw in my vision on that cool Saturday at my Onireke official headquarters in 1981. Along with Chief Bola I was truly and finally driven to prison in a police Black Maria vehicle that day. That day, my wife heard the news from her car radio while driving home from work. Our trial was secret, so family members and friends were not allowed to attend. Like anyone else, my wife heard the news over the radio. She unconsciously drove into the boot of the car in front of her. But today we thank God for everything. Akande, apart from his comments that an Afenifere elder, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, pestered former Governor Bola Tinubu of Lagos to build a house for him, said that Adebanjo's inability to differentiate Afenifere from the Alliance for Democracy (AD) harmed Afenifere, the apex Yoruba socio-economic organization. He wrote, shortly after the Kaduna meeting, Ambassador Tanko Yusuf resigned from the chairmanship and membership of the Alliance for Democracy. Chief Ayo Adebanjo, the erstwhile deputy chairman of the party, became the acting national chairman. Since then, it became difficult to decipher the difference between the running of Afenifere and the management of Alliance for Democracy. Since then, the schemes that drafted Afenifere as the organization at the apex of Yoruba organizations began. Meanwhile, leader of the Pan-Yoruba socio-economic group Afenifere, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, has lambasted Chief Akande over allegations leveled against him in his book, My Participation. Akande, in one of the accounts in the book, Akande claimed that Adebanjo pestered Bola Tinubu to build a house for him. However, Adebanjo, in an interview on Arise Television yesterday, denied the allegation. He claimed that Akande was lying, selling Yoruba race in a bid to ensure Tinubu emerges as president in 2023. Adebanjo said that's Bisi Akande, is too junior to me to be commenting on political matters. He's a political neophyte. He already known to me as a pathological liar. His colleague Akin Finwa in his book said that who is he, and those of us who know him also know he's just an apron string of Tinubu. He's too junior for me to be commenting on what he said. I signed his papers to be governor, and the condition we gave for him to become governor was that of Sovereign National Conference for the restructuring of the country back to federalism. That was the condition he was elected in 1999, and he reneged on that. We call all of them, Bola Tinubu, Segun Osoba, to warn them when they renegated. They have sold out the Yoruba race to Muhammadu Buhari, all because they want Tinubu to be president. That is not my business. But telling lies is one I don't know, and I don't know how a man like Akande, who claims that we all came from the root of Obafemi Awolowo, can be taking pride in his participation in the government of Buhari, who they know is a disaster, when all those who supported him initially are now regretting that they supported him. There's no sensible man who will come out now and say he's proud of Buhari. It shows the type of character he is. So he's too junior for me to be commenting on what he said. On allegation that he pestered Tinubu to build his Lekki house, Adebanjo said he won't join issues with Akande, who he accused of playing cheap politics. Adebanjo, who promised to give a comprehensive response to Akande's allegations, said, "I don't want to be part of the politics he's trying to play. I will address the media soon and provide pictures and give details of the number of houses I sold before I built my Lekki house. I will show you the photographs of contractors who worked in the house." Meanwhile, Adebanjo agreed with Akande that the former President Olusegun Obasanjo has questions to answer over the failure to unravel the assassination of former Oyo State Governor, Attorney General of the Federation and Justice Minister Chief Bola. According to Adebanjo, Obasanjo has a lot of questions to answer over the death of Bola, adding that a lot of questionable deaths happened during the regime of Obasanjo. This was a heavy weight. Guys, you guys have heard what he said. Let's interact. They've all said, one accused, the other one defended himself, all of them pointing out on the same dynamics of the dirty politics being played in Nigeria, even from history.